got the Carolina-Baylor game.
Yes.
I mean, the best game of the tournament to me.
Yeah, it was incredible. Now, the refs let them play in a manner that you don't usually let them see. But at the same time, North Carolina was abysmal against the press. And when Brady Manick got ejected, I'm telling you, it was Kevin Kugler and you could feel it coming. You could feel he gets ejected. They make 2 free throws. They get the ball back. They drill a 3. It was a 5-point possession. They go on a 10-0 run in legitimately 58 seconds. I mean, you don't see that happen hardly at all. NBA,
and then it came down to like the mental toughness. Almost like you trusted Baylor. They got some momentum. You haven't trusted Carolina all year. And then I don't know about you, but when it got to overtime, I was like, this shit's over.
Baylor's I was shocked. I was thinking game's over. There's no way Carolina, because at the same time, Caleb Love fouls out with 7 minutes to go. Carolina plays 6 guys, really.
Yep.
And all the momentum was with Baylor. Now, Baylor's also equally as banged up. Matt Meyer fouls out. So there was some things going against them.
Flagler's got a concussion, probably.
Yeah, Flagler just got absolutely obliterated, hit his head on the floor.
Yeah.
I just, at one point in the game, I'm looking at the Carolina guys on the court, and I'm looking at Justin McCoy and I think Dontrez Styles, and the looks on these guys' faces of, if the ball comes to me, I've got to bring the ball up against this was incredible. I mean, Justin McCoy on one possession caught the ball, 10-second counts going down. You could see it in his face. He's like, I've got to get the ball across half court. So he just puts his head down and dribbles 94 feet. Matt Meyer has been standing in the lane for like 8 seconds and just gets plowed right through the chest. I mean, he wanted no part of the ball. You could see he was like, I cannot fathom that I'm in the game facing this right now, when it looked like I'd probably have to play the last 4 minutes of this game up 25 points. It was a crazy game. It was crazy.
So are you a believer, before we get to some of these Sweet 16 matchups, are you now a believer of Carolina, or are you like, hey, they built up such a lead, and it was a little fraudulent against a Baylor team that is so short right now in terms of
their game plan was really good. They were going to make Baylor prove it from 3, and without LJ Cryer, they can't. Yeah. They don't have the shooting. They're playing off James Akinjo 4 or 5 feet. You look at their help defense, they were at the boxes and the elbows, just waiting to stop the ball. UCLA will be they'll be a different deal. Jaquez's injury is interesting to me. I think Carolina can give them a good game, but I'm not as sold. I think a lot of that was Baylor was so banged up. I really do.
Me too. I mean, again, Flagler, Akinjo hasn't been the same. Really,
let me ask you this:
got hurt.
Third-team All-American was surprising to me, just because I get that Baylor won the league and they had a really good year again, but his percentages are so low.
Terrible,
especially the last 15 games of the year. He did not shoot the ball well.
Couldn't make a shot.
And look, you lead the Big 12 in assists. You're on a team that wins the league. I get it, but you compare his numbers to Ochai Abaji's or some of the other first-team guys. And I know he's third team, so
yeah,
it's a little bit of a drop off. But I was surprised that he was a third-team All-American.
Are you worried about the Peacocks against your alma mater?
Am I worried about them?
Yeah, I mean, this is the year for Purdue. I mean, look at the road now, Rob.
No, you asked if I was worried about the Peacocks. Am I worried about Purdue? Or am I worried about St. Mary's?
You're worried about St. Peter's, not St. Mary's.
That's what I meant. I meant St. Peter's. No disrespect to the Peacocks. I meant St. Peter's.
Can't believe you can't even get their name right.
No, shut up. I think it'll be interesting. I didn't get to watch them. They were on at the same time as we were, so I have not seen them. So I guess I'll ask you. They were able to handle Sheboy, but does Purdue's ability to play in the half court change the type of game it's going to be?
Yeah, I just think Jaden Ivey's got to be the difference here. He's so big, strong, athletic, and again, like the shots he made at the end of that
major
game.
League shots, the step back
threes.
at the end.
Yeah, like
it's elite.
Who saw that coming, Rob? Who, if I had told you that at the beginning in the preseason this year, that
Oh,
Jaden
he'd
Ivey
shoot
would-
shots like that. All right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he'd shoot it better from three because he finished the year last year strong. But you're talking about a step back three on a good defender in Courtney Ramey, and he left him. He got sent almost to the baseline. I mean, he wasn't even close to contesting that shot.
Nope.
That's an all-American move. That's a pro. I mean, that's what he is.
That's a difference maker, is what that is. Like, for all we talked about the bigs of Purdue, ultimately the difference maker is Jaden Ivey, because you can give him the ball, game on the line, and trust him now. Where that was the biggest question early in the season. Even when we saw him in November, it was like, all right, he did it, but like, can you trust him in the half court now? Like, you knew you could trust him in transition.
Yeah.
But now I think you can trust him in the half court. And
You know who I think sorry, go ahead, finish.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Who I think the X factor is Sasha Stefanovic. They have got to find him some better looks, and he's got to make some shots. That certainly is something where they've been missing a piece, I would say. I thought Ethan Morton gave just phenomenal minutes. Kept Marcus Carter his left hand, made big shots from three. He was really, really good. But I think for Purdue to reach their potential, yes, you need Jaden Ivey playing at the level he's been. You need Travion Williams and Zach Edey to do their thing. The X factor for Purdue to me is Sasha. If he makes shots, they can get to the Final Four and make it to Monday night. If he doesn't,
they can outscore anybody if he makes shots.
And look, they've been better defensively over the last 7, 8, 9 games of the season. They have. They lost those games end of the year, not because of defense, because they couldn't score.
Right.
Michigan State's like 63-61. Wisconsin, they're in the 60s. Their defense has been much better. I just think you've got to find a way to get Sasha Stefanovic involved and making shots from the perimeter.